Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 152, Hacker Boogaloo.
What's up? I don't have it.
What's up?
Not a whole lot. Watching YouTube videos of rallies happening around places and trying out my new vaporizer. I have a touchscreen on this vaporizer, and you know what? They need to port Doom to it.
Okay, so
Is this? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so Adrian,
Yes?
there probably is a firmware updater for that. I know there are for a couple of other ones, and I've seen it done where someone turned a battery into a rubber ducky style attack,
Okay.
Nice.
just by updating the firmware with his own code. You could port Doom onto it.
Yeah, I know it's got a 32-bit processor on it, but I think it may only have 512K of flash memory on it. I'm not quite
That's fine.
Yeah.
Doom
That's
can
more
fit
than
on
enough
that.
Doom.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you could probably get one of the dev versions to work on it. Like, I can't remember, but probably one of the dev versions would work on it. But you'd also have to inject that somehow into the process without it killing itself. So you probably just have to, yeah. Now I want to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, I got one of these G-Priv 3s from Smoke, or however you pronounce it.
Smock.
Oh, wait. I
What
think that's
hell?
what my old one is.
Now,
Yeah.
is this the same vape from DerbyCon? Remember when
That one I busted. And
Not busted, yeah.
this is a new one with a touchscreen. The only bad thing about this one, I just got it, and I thought it was in a bubble package, and it wasn't. So I
Yeah.
tried to knife to take it out, and I ended up scratching up the firebar. But what I'm thinking of doing, I'm going to take it to DOS Man and his laser etcher, and maybe etch Irongeek on it.
I know one thing. For everyone out there, hello, this is the BSD Bandit, and it's Happy Wonderful Wednesday on Iron Geek Cast. Yip, yip.
Whoop, whoop.
So,
I had a burp right when you said that. I'm like, all right.
As usual, BSD Bandit. Man, I wish you would be just a little more excited. You've been kind of down lately.
I know, man.
Just try to raise that up.
I've been kind of down lately. You know what? I'm gonna try. I know I sounded down right now, but
Really dig deep.
Oh, guys, Captain Chronicles is asking, or he thought it was the classic Doom was only on 1 or 2 floppies. Does anybody know?
I think it was more than 2. No, I think it was just 2 floppies. I believe it was just 2 floppies on the classic Doom. It was 2.
So I didn't get huge into 3D shooters until like the first. Actually, Duke Nukem was my first 3D shooter I got really big into.
Ooh, classic.
5 floppy disks.
5? Wow.
I think. No, that's Doom 2.
Oh.
My bad. Hang on.
The first one.
No, Doom was 2.
Yeah, Doom was 2. Doom 2 was 5.
Okay.
Oh wait, hang on. No, that's from a thing. God dang it. Hang on. I gotta do some research.
Okay.
John Romero is auctioning. The picture was titled "John Romero is auctioning off original Doom 2 floppy disks from like
Huh.
2 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago now.
Yeah, for like $3,000.
Oh yeah. Although him explaining how they developed Doom scares the living shit out of me. No.
As a developer?
Oh my god! And as someone who did game dev,
Yeah.
here's the phrase that scared me. We didn't have version control. It was whoever's hard drive worked. I'm like, no. That means you could have lost everything.
Nice.
You know what? Let's give an Iron Geek hand for those guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's how you used to do it back in the day. Just whatever, and if it worked, it worked, and if it didn't, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of ceiling fans going on back then. I just imagine hot ceiling fans. I don't know, but yeah, never mind where I'm going with it.
That's what Charles thinks about at night. Hot ceiling fans. Oh, yeah. Hey, whatever gets you
now,
going.
but Yeah, giggity.
Giggity.
So now I will say, like, for the first time in my life, I have a phone that I'm super happy with, and I hope it just rides until the wheels fall off. I'm talking about my Note 10 Plus.
The
Up to 10 now?
phablet?
Yeah.
Hot
Yeah.
damn.
Well,
I had a Note 2 way back in the day, and I liked it. But I flashed it so many times, I think the flash memory eventually gave out.
yeah, this thing has 12 gigs of RAM in it. I mean, it's just an awesome phone.
Do you,
Haven't had any issues with it.
do you have a backpack or a satchel just to carry it around?
Fanny pack.
Oh, fanny pack. Yeah.
No, it's a.
Is it any bigger than the Pixel 3 XL? That's what I got right now.
I got rid of it because of the well, I had it when we were at DerbyCon, but I got rid of it because like it kept locking up on me with Rant. Like Rant, I would run like say Outlook.
Yeah.
I would have Outlook on my phone, and then I would look, and I would run like IRC. I had an IRC client, and then when I would make a phone call, I'd be stuck on speakerphone. Like I couldn't take it off speaker.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at the RAM usage, and the RAM is only 4 gigs, and I would have like 37 megs left. And I did updates. I made sure that I had to cut off specific apps just to get off of like speakerphone. So I was like, I don't want to go through this with the 4 because the 4 had just come out as well. The 4 was about to come out. They had like leaks of it. And it was only going to have 6 gigs of RAM. And I was like, I'm not going through this crap again. So then I started researching phones. I was like, okay, where can I go from here? Because I've always been a Google phone guy. Like, I always, like from the Nexus days, the Nexus 5, the 6P. And I had the 6P for the longest time. And then I moved to a Pixel 3. So during the time when the Pixel 2 came out, I was still on the Nexus 6P. The phone worked perfectly. I didn't have any issues with it. Battery was awesome, too. Then when the battery started like going down, then I was like, okay, let me just go with my normal reaction, a Pixel 3 XL. Got the Pixel 3 XL. It seemed okay battery life, but I hadn't really run it to the test. And that's when I had like Nessus and that's when I had like IRC client and Discord and Outlook on the phone. And I mean, when I say like the IRC client should never take up a gig of RAM.
Well, I mean, there's a way around that.
Still, I did all like the configurations to fine tune this thing, and the phone just would not respond correctly. Then
I mean, you offload that work like what I do is I offloaded my RSC client and a bunch of other apps to a couple of different Pis, and I'm able to remote into my network back at home and connect to those Pis.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay,
Tell us.
I'm off the IRC client, and I use Terminex. Use Terminex to SSH into an IRC box running the screen session. Shit still locks up. That should not be happening. So that's why I gave up on it. Then I said, you know what, I'm gonna do some research. And I said, you know what? I wasn't really a big Samsung fan. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And this is my first Note, by the way. I've never had a Note ever. So when I got it, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. 12 gigs of RAM. And I mean, I'm running programs galore on this thing. And it's just rocking. The battery life is awesome. And the most RAM I use on this thing is 6 to 7 gigs. Because I have all my stuff running on it.
Terminex or Termux?
Termux.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Termux.
Yeah, because I use Termux, but yeah, I have like 0 issues with it.
Yeah. No, I don't have any issues with it now. I'm running Termux. I'm doing everything I need to do. And it runs great on this phone. And I just think that, the hardware was just a lot better. I'm like this, and this is the message for anybody who works at Google and they're watching our cast. Please get this message back. Like, if you're gonna charge me $800 or $900 for a phone, give me the hardware, please. Don't be chippy on the hardware and still charge me. That's all I'm saying.
They could also be getting. Well, I know Apple's having this issue where a lot of their stuff is having to go into US based stuff, and it's a lot more expensive to get stuff here to manufacture stuff, at least.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. Sam's a little cheaper to get that hardware.
Yeah,
I think all their plants are in China, or their manufacturing plants are in China.
Yeah.
Oh, Samsung?
Yeah.
I think it's Korea.
Korea? Is it South Korea? Okay.
But I mean, yeah, the phone is just like I said. I'm super happy with my Note 10 Plus. I won't be getting a phone for another several years.
Yeah, I still gotta look up that phone that we talked about a while back.
Uh-huh.
I gotta see if that phone's come out yet. The one that was like you should straight up just get both the hardware layer, the kernel, and the operating system on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I gotta hit up that. Forgetting his name. He was on the cast. Gotta hit him up again.
Yeah.
It looks really cool for like doing mobile testing.
There you go.
It's like, hey, boss, I need this $1,000 phone. What's on it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Exactly.
That's how it should be.
I could run anything on this, possibly.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like we don't have to jailbreak it. We just have to break my wallet.
yeah. That's another form of jailbreaking.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Not always. You can always spin it as a proof of concept, so that way it's an investment for the team.
Yeah.
Right.
One team, one dream.
One team, one dream. This message is brought to you by Irongeek Pass.
We do not own this phrase at all.
I need to figure out how to get a damn bank account to send me fucking actual messages to let me know. Nah. I hate being overdue things. They used to send me a nice paper notice, and now I need to figure out how to get them to send that to me again.
Turn off paperless.
Well, yeah, finding out where the hell that is because they want to make it difficult for you.
Yeah, there's also this other thing called talking to someone. I haven't done it in
That's
years.
a pain in the ass also sometimes when you get into a
I don't like talking.
I did. Okay, I actually have an interesting story about contacting vendors. With AT&T, they like reinitiated my policy and whatever, and it went up like $10. And I'm like, all right, whatever, $10. And I'm not paying out the butt for internet right now, and it's the only thing I can get in this apartment. So, which is fine. But then they tried to bill my account and try to pull money out of my account, and they failed to do it twice over I don't know how many times, to the point that there was a $120 bill sitting there, and I had to do night testing. So I called them up, and I'm no joke talking to a robot, which was more helpful than a human. It was like, so it looks like your account has been suspended due to inactivity, but your balance has been paid. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. It's like, do you want me to reboot your router? I'm more curious to see how this works. Yes. Okay, I'm doing that now. You should see it go down now. Boop, internet gone. Like, I don't like this at all.
Oh, you should have threw an exploit keyword in there.
Oh my god.
Any previous charges.
Yeah. Please upgrade service at no additional charge.
Are you sure about this?
Yes.
Removing charges. Beep, beep,
Are
beep,
you
beep.
sure you want to, quote, hack this? Yes.
Yes. Let me get the authorities on the phone.
Ah! Sending TCP dump to the authorities. God damn it!
You don't need to log off. We already have you. Beep, beep, beep.
Speaking of like tracing stuff for authorities, I did see an interesting DerbyCon talk. I didn't go to it. I've watched it. Thanks, Adrian, for putting all that crap up. It was John Strand talking about pinpointing IPs via traceroute or something like that.
Yeah, J-Strand. All right.
Yeah, so he said he was showing this to a bunch of I think it was military dudes or whatever, and he was explaining how this worked. So he just traceroute instead of the actual IP, that router that was there, because the router was inside that actual building, so it was actually closer than where the IP was coming from. So he showed that to them, and it's like, this is within like a kilometer radius of where this person is.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, that's good enough.
Oh,
And he stops, and it's like, good enough for what? And I'm like, missile strike.
No, I mean, it also depends on the branch of service.
I think it was Army.
Well, it won't be a missile strike. It'll be a ATAC strike.
Yeah, something like that. There was and speaking of like kilometer, so distance based off IP, there was a law, and I think I've mentioned this a couple times before. There was a law that went in place while I was in the Netherlands that let authorities search anything within a kilometer of where an IP originated from for cyber crimes.
Wow.
It's pretty fucking broad.
Yeah. So that passed somehow, which I was like, all you motherfuckers torrent shit. It's like you all have stuff that you should not have, like, at all.
yeah, we're all guilty.
It's like, yeah, your Plex server that your kid has set up for you, yeah, we're just gonna, yeah, but
We're gonna check all that legal video content that's on there.
totally legal.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh, FYI, it's kind of cool. You can run Plex containerized too.
Yeah, I've got it just sitting on the base right now, but I have nothing on it because I got to figure out how to get my ripping again. I actually don't think my CD drive is hooked up.
Yeah, you're making me miss this thing called Box Ripper.
Ah, that good old days.
I know Screenbox Ripper was a bomb. That and Disc Juggler.
Remember when you would have to go out and buy, or for like, I remember seeing these at like concerts when they would give out like live recordings on like a CD. You'd go in the back and there was just this tower that was just CDs. Trays. So I was like, yep, just all the way down, just like,
Yep.
dang.
Living the life.
And then finding like tape drive or tape decks in live sound equipment or sound equipment, like on the mixing board. That's always fun.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So, what we got in the breach report tonight?
Yes, breach report. Actually, let me get a little prepared and bring show notes up and actually have some links going.
Oman United Insurance Company.
Well, in the meantime, while you're talking about that, while you're getting things together, I also want to put a shout out to Rasta Labs. Woo! Thank you for making it so tough that it's making me work harder, and I love it. Give me more of the pain.
Charles really likes that
Yeah.
pain, especially whenever you have the ceiling fan going.
Here comes the pain.
Here comes the pain. That's right. I love the pain because it helps me. It just makes me better. I put it that way. But no, definitely, if you're not in Rasta Labs and you really want to learn some red teaming, I would recommend that for anyone. Just really you really learn a lot just by it's kind of like the OSCP. It's like Office of Security, but with that to it when it comes to red teaming. So I would recommend that for anyone. And he also just recently put out a new course that's related to red teaming in general. I'm seriously thinking about signing up for the training for that.
Sweet. There's actually an exploit that we're going to talk about later in the show that might be fun to play around with in that for you.
Yeah.
Found one and did a little bit of my vulnerability OSINT to see who talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give code per se, but gave me enough of a thing to talk about.
There you go.
Okay. And with that, Cappy has something to talk about. And first up on the breach report, ransomware infects main server of large insurance company in Oman. So this is one of the largest insurance companies actually in Oman. And one of their primary servers, it sounds like, got hit with ransomware. It's not all, it's good for them. Not really, amazing to talk about because they only got some of the data from January 1st through December 31st of 2019. The attack hit on January 1st of 2020, and sounds like they had good backups and were able to restore the data fairly quickly. So, from a ransomware perspective, that's just about your best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what you want to see is kind of containment of the issue, keeping it in a small, isolated location, not allowing it to spread, and then being able to restore the data efficiently.
Do we know if this was externally facing or if it was cloud environment?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't give a lot of information.
No, they really didn't. Which is fine. I mean, there's not a whole lot of a story there. It's like, oh, you backed it up? All right, cool. I'm just going to write that.
Yeah.
And then it's good enough.
Be like, yeah, pat yourself on the back. Yep, we were infected. We resolved it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I don't think I threw this one on
You
here.
did not.
Oh, okay,
I
good. I mean, because we got the clap rants. Oh, I mean, the clap rants up there.
All right. So I threw this one in here and titled it Bare Bones or Rise of Bare Bones Malware or Ransomware. Instead of making a whole GUI and whatever, this is what we're kind of categorizing it as now. So it's something that I saw and I'm like, okay. So this is one that spawned out of the Equation Group, Shadow Brokers, and whatever, but it's been running this entire time, but this is the first time that I'm hearing about it, and it's also probably the first time you're hearing about it. So there are other actors that we probably don't have the hashes readily available for, and they're also changing at the same pace. So just actually putting in different policies and stuff like that, and actually training people is actually needed for some of the smaller ones. And I've seen a similar one to this get hacked, or a similar one to this in an IR or incident response, and it follows that same methodology. It just puts a text file onto the desktop and says, "Hey, we're in your network, and all your files are encrypted. So pay me to get it back." But the issue is that sometimes you can't even get it back. So, and these are going to stick around for a while. It was just one that I thought wanted to go over, throw up there. It's like, all right, cool. Like Soto no Kibi or Arguel, like all the Emotet, like all that stuff. Yeah, you're going to be seeing it. Everyone's tracking that stuff, but it's going to be the guys that like slip in between that you might miss. So you have to see everything. So just a reminder.
Yeah, why haven't we seen it that much?
Just because it's not.
I mean, because it's been around for a while.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, when you had everything, or when you had like the ransomware boom with like WannaCry, and people were like, "Oh, I can write something like that, but I don't need to make it all like fancy schmancy and whatever."
Yeah, I mean, we see variances of ransomware consistently, and yeah, like you said, this is the first time I've seen crypto mix. Maybe it's because they have crypto and it's stupid.
But it's also like also remember that a lot of these ransomware groups are doing ransomware as a service, so they might have like.
Oh, so these guys aren't RAS.
Huh?
So these guys aren't ransomware as a service. They're actually one-off doing it?
Yeah, they're a one-off.
Oh, I got you.
So and they've been constantly updating.
Yeah, because the big money's in ransomware as a service. Plus, it takes the risk level down for the back-end devs. Don't hire ransomware as a service from Irongeek cast. Don't do that. But as a service, takes that risk level down a lot for those back-end developers. And so I can see why this is staying under the radar more, though, if these are the actual guys hitting the network, infecting the network, throwing the ransomware out there, and they're guys and maybe gals, whoever, kind of being that one-stop shop for everything.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, that's it from my stuff for the breach report, I think.
Okay. Next up, we have FBI. Nation-state actors have breached 2 U.S. Municipalities via the SharePoint CVE 2019-0604, which was patched, 4 or 5 months ago? But it was being actively exploited in the wild, and probably still is. And it's to the point now script kiddies can just utilize it. They didn't name who the municipalities are, just advising that they are being or have been attacked. They are attributing it to Chinese nation-state hackers, or thinking that could be the case since China has utilized this attack method in the past. But yeah.
They Kerber roasted them.
Yeah, but I remember whenever the SharePoint stuff came out, a lot of people I know were, on the edge of their heels, trying to get proof of concept, especially pen testers.
Yep.
So they could start decimating environments. But it's definitely been out and utilized. Anybody have anything to say about that?
Kerber roasting is fun.
Curb roasting is fun. I agree. Okay.
Hey, I'm in your network. Can I have the keys? Sure.
Yep. Okay, here they are.
Here's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one.
Yep. Let's start making some ghosted accounts. It's awesome.
Oh, you want this golden ticket? The master key? Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Up next, we have Mitsubishi Electric discloses security breach. China is the main suspect. Mitsubishi Electric says hackers did not obtain sensitive information about defense contracts. Wonder. And then as you go down, we see Mitsubishi Electric, a picture of it in the article. And just as a reminder, you can look down at the description, right?
Yep.
Caprico description on YouTube for a link to the show notes that we're going through right now and be able to see what we're talking about. But yeah, they actually have a picture. They're mentioning defense contracts, and then we have a picture of Mitsubishi Electric, their logo, with a beautiful looking kitchen in the background. Yeah. So
I'll throw up my screen real quick so they get that on the show. Oh God.
Yeah. Fire your screen up real quick. That's better than the ceiling fan.
You can't see that.
Yeah, just make sure Charles
You might go nuts. Where in the heck?
But the breach occurred last year, June 28th. The internal investigation started in September. See, isn't that pretty? Just a nice kitchen with Mitsubishi Electric. Changes for the better. Well, let's hope they do change for the better.
just don't think this ass is here and we're good.
Yes. But yeah, they were hit. Unauthorized access began with affiliates in China and spread to bases in Japan. So, hackers escalated their access from the initial entry point to internal systems, gaining access to the networks of around 14 company departments such as sales and the head administrative office. Then stole sensitive data from the internal network. Tens of PCs and servers in Japan and overseas, there was data stolen. And they stole about 200 megs worth of data, mostly business documents. But even 1 meg of data, if it's the appropriate data, can still be crushing. So I don't think in this case it was crushing. You could have 500 gigs of completely worthless data, but yeah, I'd be interested to see what that actual data is.
Could be account numbers.
Yeah, I mean, because if you have account numbers, are you talking like banking account numbers?
Well, even just from my experience pen testing, any sort of environment that has financial info on them, a lot of times they have, or at least the one instance that I found, they had a system that outputted everything into a text file per each transaction that was made for specific accounts, and those were not very big. They were like a couple of kilobytes each, so you could easily grab, kilobyte, 1,000. You could easily rip a good 6 months worth out of 200 megabytes of transactions.
Yeah, and
for some insider trading BS, if you really wanted to do something like that, or if you, I don't know, they're not explicitly stating what was taken, so
correct.
It might have just been 200 megabytes of user data.
Yeah.
Username and passwords,
transaction logs. Yeah, it's hard to speculate what it was, but
session logs.
But given that they do defense-based work, that very well could be what the attackers were after. So, and that could be any number of things. So,
it's a 200 megabyte PDF detailing the electrical components and electronic generators for people overseas.
That's right.
Remember that being a requirement for an architecture firm. Yeah, we have this 300 megabyte PDF.
That was just a network architectural graph, and with all the pretty pictures in it. Okay, last up on the breach report, we have a children's apparel company, Hannah Anderson, discloses data breach. So I Apparently, I'm not rich enough to buy my children Hannah Anderson clothes because I've never even heard of the company. But the breach did include payment card numbers, expiration dates, CVV codes, loan customer name, billing address, and shipping addresses. They are based out of Portland, Oregon. They don't know how many customers were affected. They're going to be offering free credit monitoring. Company, they don't know who was responsible for the breach.
Insert stored SSS to Mage Cart style attack.
Yeah, and they hired Coalfire and Carbon Black, along with a consulting firm, Charles River Associates, and a team from Salesforce. Well, that's why. Would you hire a team from Salesforce?
Because they don't have enough sales. They don't have enough sales apparently.
Oh, I mean that. Yeah, actually, it could be like public relations. Try to get out in front of it and try to advise on keeping their customers coming to the.
Well,
you know,
isn't Coalfire?
Coalfire is the one that we were just talking about a couple months ago. Their boys got arrested.
I thought that was.
I thought it was Coalfire.
Yeah, it was Coalfire. Yeah,
We had a couple of guys at B-Sides Tampa last year.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking Cobalt Strike, and I'm like, that's not right at all. That's a tool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, thanks for the super chat, Doc Al. He says, Sarah McLaughlin music, for as little as $5, you can help save the lives of the Crenshaw crew.
That's seriously what he. That's awesome.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that $5 sends Adrian to the next con, or at least buys him a water bottle,
or a couple scoops of ice cream.
Yeah, that too. Or a Taco Bell burrito.
Yep.
Ooh, oh no, a Taco Bell big box, or what do they call those?
Oh, the box.
Taco Bell for $5.
You can get away with a lot of, or you can go. You won't go hungry for $5 at Taco Bell.
Yeah, they have that.
Let's get a bunch of White Castle for $5.
No, dude, no. That
White Castle okay too.
I like White Castle, but they've gotten expensive.
That's like paying rent for like an hour. It's like going to an hourly motel.
What White Castle give you the shit?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't say I've had that particular problem. That I have had a problem with Taco Bell though.
Well, you shouldn't overdo White Castles if you ain't got the tolerance for it.
Yeah, exactamundo.
Easy gases, I think is what my mom used to call them.
Or unless you're going to, be in the appropriate place. You shouldn't eat White Castle and Taco Bell right before or during a road trip. That's just not where you eat.
Or you do, and it becomes way more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like using gas stations full of stuff I can all.
Yeah, I would make sure that if there's a female in the vehicle, that she's not your girlfriend and that you're already married if you do attempt that.
I'll tell you guys off cast about what happened. What happened to a friend of mine when they came down to drop something off.
Yeah, I'm really am tempted to add a new section into the show notes that is story time with Jack. I mean, Jack has the best stories.
Yep.
It's where we all sit around a campfire eating s'mores and just listening. Or listen.
Or listen and laugh and fall on the floor because I'm laughing so hard.
And giggle at times. Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, they got owned.
Yes.
Anna Anderson. I don't even. And how much are these? Up to 70% off. Okay.
Well, heck yeah. Gotta get business going again. Okay.
This is gonna throw Google's algorithm off so freaking fast.
Yeah, why is this 14-year-old searching for Hannah Anderson?
$50 for a long john? No. Nah, we going to Walmart.
Caprico makes his own long johns.
3D printer, dude. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Nice.
Their adult apparel is like $100 normally, or like a pair of. Yeah, I get. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, continue.
Okay, let's hit some vulnerable stuff. Okay, so last week we talked about Citrix, the exploits available for Citrix. This week, it's getting kind of fun. So we actually have hackers going out, exploiting these vulnerabilities, gaining access into the Citrix environment, patching the vulnerabilities, but leaving back doors so that they can get back in and keep everybody else out. And we see this from time to time. Rarely do we see it kind of in this type of...
Did they also say what they've been dropping?
like what?
Yeah.
Oh, as to what they're doing once they're in the environment? I don't know if they did. But we have seen this other times, like especially with crypto mining crypto jacking. Yeah, where we'll have a pathway available for the attacker to get onto an endpoint or whatever the endpoint is, and then kind of seal that up, but keep their backdoor there. So they actually patch the system, patch the vulnerability that they came in through, just so nobody else comes in, and they keep their little prize to themselves.
I think there's about 40-ish examples that I have of that right now.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
But we see that from time to time, but with what has happened with Citrix, this is like a pack of piranhas jumping on it right now, as opposed to, one or two offs here and there. This is, you need to get your Citrix stuff patched and updated. If you cannot patch it, or if it cannot be patched, get off of it. Do not allow that to stay up and internet facing.
And I do have a theory behind why it's such a piranha attack, but I'll save it for later. Like off show.
I love your later thoughts too. Okay, next up. I mean, Charles has the fan and you got the later thoughts. Next up, hope you've changed that default Telnet password. Bum, bum, bum. So, why would you ever want to change a Telnet password? Well, because one hacker decided to go out, essentially scour the entire internet, using default Telnet user password combinations, and found over 500,000 devices, for servers, routers, and IoT devices, all accessible via the internet with their default username.
Why would you have Telnet? Why would you have Telnet on a internet-facing device to begin with?
Yo, I got a remote into it. Dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, what other mechanisms in today's day and age would possibly
What
be
is port
available?
23?
I mean, come on. Straight up Telnet. Exposed to the internet. But yeah, and not even just exposed to the internet, but then you still have the same default user pass on there, administrative user and pass. Like, that is not smart. If you have Telnet, first off, shut Telnet down from accessing the internet, throw it behind a VPN. For whatever reason, I don't even know if you could multi-factor Telnet.
better yet, step up the SSH or something. Shit.
I mean,
yeah, and still put that behind
Yeah.
a VPN.
multi-factor Telnet. I'm just trying to think of a suitable comparison.
In another dimension. Thank God it's in another dimension.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Sniff, 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 sniff. Hey, there it is. Log in. That code is good for 5 minutes.
yeah. Well, I mean, if there is nobody who can multi-factor Telnet, at least we know what we could have for an income, scheme. We could develop the first way and have 500,000 customers potentially.
That,
Right off the bat.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought of that number. 515,000 or more. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, that's disgusting. But I had to throw it in there because anybody who did this, I'm sorry, that was a fail.
Big one.
Oh my goodness. And those same people, customers, companies who did that probably aren't listening to this, probably haven't seen any article in regard to Telnet being susceptible, and there's them and all their buddies, 500,000 of them out there, and they're all going to get popped.
And the fact that traffic to and from that port is sent out in the clear.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
How much you want to bet that all these are legacy Cisco firewalls? With like the default config setup.
I bet not all.
I'd say a chunk.
I mean, I'd say there's definitely a fair amount. But too, even with legacy Cisco, they're going to be looking at a lot of home labs. Maybe smaller business who doesn't have localized IT. I mean, because most of the companies, well, outside of government, I'm not going to say
no, they're just all government devices.
Nope. Don't you even go about saying that because.
All right.
I mean, but most of the companies, have upgraded to like the Firepowers and Cisco's newer line of things, and hopefully, if they didn't configure accurately, had a contractor come in and not point Telnet.
So,
to the
guys,
internet.
it could be much, much worse.
Oh, that's what I'd love to hear.
So that's the total.
Oh, so we were only talking U.S.
Oh, we were only talking U.S. Well, that's like potentially.
No, I'm saying, looking at those stats, yeah. I mean, 415 or 456, 500K, yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, potentially. I know there's a list in here somewhere for default passwords. I wonder if that guy uploaded it though. Let's see. Nope. These are my reports.
No.
Yeah. Or I'll try and find that later, see if anyone actually uploaded that, because Shodan does track default username and password sometimes. If it gets added to a tag, or if they tag it.
Nice.
Actually, tag default. Nope. Tag filter is only available to enterprise users.
Yeah, because maybe you're a hacker, and that would be too useful to you.
Let me write an email real quick.
Well, are you because there are differences between like the web interface and their API? Like, could you potentially do API side?
No, it's all API key based.
Okay.
Is how they have it set up, which is fine. I just gotta figure out how to get the pricing. I think Shodan's enterprise is contact sales.
That usually means expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think I can afford that.
It means dig deep.
It means run.
That means sell your car and the Classic you have in the garage.
I don't have a Classic.
Well, then you can't afford it.
And that's only for like a month.
Okay, next up we have unofficial patch released for recently disclosed Internet Explorer 0 Day. I can't imagine really anybody in today's day and age using Internet Explorer. But for those office workers out there who still do, and for whatever reason you listening to this show are forcing them to still do that, please stop. That's just cruel and unusual punishment. I mean, we got Brave, we have Chrome, we have Firefox.
Who's using IE9 still?
Yeah, that's I don't know.
That's funny. Not only are you subjecting them to using like Internet Explorer, you're making them do IE9. 75% of the internet doesn't run on that.
Yeah.
The only reason that was in 2015. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like 5.
Really? I didn't realize you were that old. Yes, there is an unofficial patch out. But yeah, I'm just kind of flabbergasted if you are using Internet Explorer. Wait, anybody over in YouTube land? Anybody over there using Internet Explorer?
Oh no, I got it.
Like first off, most of you guys probably aren't using Windows, but if you do use Windows, when is the one time you use Internet Explorer?
I'm using Windows right now.
Oh, well.
To download something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, to play games. I'm not doing like, wow.
Well, yeah, but too, I'm not a gamer, so yeah. For gaming, I get that, but you could do that in a virtual environment.
I just did this fresh install on this Windows machine, so let me just go ahead and open up IE and download Chrome.
Yep.
There was a meme it was a Rick and Morty style meme where the robot that Rick makes to just pass the butter on the table has the IE logo on it, and it asks, "What is my purpose?" You download Chrome. Oh my god.
Yep. Actually, that'd be really nice of Microsoft to just kind of put a shortcut right on IE. So whenever it's first installed, a shortcut to automatically download Chrome. That would make a lot of people's lives a lot easier.
Well, I mean, they're doing. Well, with their new Edge browser, it's based off Chromium, so.
Yeah, but even there, do either any of you guys use Edge?
No. Only accidentally.
When I really need to, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like.
I mean, I'm using it on one of my text boxes. I use it on one of my test boxes. I mean, it's not that bad, but don't daily driver that box either. So.
Yeah. Now, what I could see Microsoft in the future doing is trying to integrate additional functionality, like if you are administrating like a Azure environment or a SharePoint admin or doing something like that, kind of give advanced functionality via the Edge browser and kind of say, screw you to Chrome. I don't know if they will, but maybe that's how they could try to get people using their browser again.
Well, something interesting with that I read today, I didn't put it in the show notes, but Microsoft's Office 365 like Enterprise Edition is going to force users, even if they're using Chrome, to use Bing for their search engine.
I have heard that.
Which I'm like, okay. We're just gonna boot up DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
And run away.
Yep.
I do remember when DuckDuckGo came out, and that was nice. because it was all like dev centric.
Yes. Yeah. Cynthia said a lot of government legacy crap only runs in IE. And that's probably because it's still Flash based. And you can potentially do compatibility mode on it.
Thought they deprecated that even on out of band.
That means that they probably haven't been upgrading systems then.
MSO 817 or MSO 816.
16.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. I think it's time for Cappy to talk.
Yeah, so I've got 2 more things in vulnerable stuff, and then we've got the weekly bulletin. So first up, and I'll throw my screen up here. This was just a fun thing that I tweeted out last week after the cast. Let me see. There we go. Just tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop now.
Yeah, so this box royally owned.
Yep.
I haven't counted how many of these there are, and it's also a lot of these have been taken down already, and there were actually a couple of new ones, which I was glad to find. But this was just a lot. And you can go there if you want to go find this research. Just be careful what you curl, because there are some beacon logic there. But yeah, it's just really bad. So cryptojacking has gone and spiked again.
Hey, look at that port.
Which one?
22.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. I know which one that is. He's most of them. I've already got his at least public.
Well, no, I was pointing out that Telnet is available on that system.
That's 22. It's SSH.
Yes.
That's not Telnet.
Oh, yeah, that is SSH, isn't it?
23.
23. Crap. Well, there goes the competency of Israel for the week.
Tried so hard and got so far.
But yeah, you're right. That is SSH.
So also, I think there's an Erlang port on it. I think this is a telecom. Maybe.
Could be.
Hang on. And then there's Jetty. Yeah, maybe. But I'm not seeing any, or it's a honeypot, because I'm not seeing any like legitimate containers on here anymore. For now.
Yeah.
What was that? Okay.
Sorry, I'm slipping on a Slurpee.
Gotcha. But I love how so what's funny is there isn't a CVE for having this open to the internet. That's what freaking scares me. Is that there isn't a CVE for this at all.
That is very scary.
Yeah.
I sunk my year into a non-CVE vulnerability.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there. Be careful what you curl t-shirt. Now I need to make that. I will make that. Thank you, Justin.
You need that, see?
I need that. I'll just make it in the same style as my Capital shirt. Be careful what you curl.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of shirts, and I have to go to something here in another week or so, but I actually really do like sports, but I wanted, since it's kind of my nature. Okay.
What in the world? I'm confused.
So, I just had to find a shirt that fully matches my personality, so.
You should have a football player, and then it spell out football.
Ooh.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, that pisses like
You might get punched.
multiple countries off.
No.
The rest of the world, yeah.
No. You know what you have? Too?
Yeah.
A picture of a lady holding a basket and then a ball in the other hand.
Oh, well, why couldn't it be a man? Just playing.
It could be a man too. It could be both. Fine.
So yes, I will be wearing that to a specific sporting event later next week, and look forward to seeing if I don't get beer thrown on me. So, will be interesting.
At least you don't have the worry of yeah, you'll be fine. You don't have the worry that I had where I almost got coaxed into buying the wrong team's uniform.
No, I know which teams are going to be playing. So
no, like when I was in Europe, I almost got coaxed into grabbing the wrong team's uniform.
Oh yes, gotcha.
All right. So next up, we've got RDP to RCE Gateway Giveaway.
I was hoping it was a giveaway, man.
I mean, kind of. So Microsoft put out, I believe, last week. Yeah. CVE 2020-0610. It's another RDP vulnerability. And this...
Yeah, I think we have 9, 10, and 11, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Because 9 was the one that was like blowing everything up last week, but there was also 10 and 11 that were still associated with it.
Right. So with this one, a remote code execution vulnerability exists in Windows Remote Desktop Gateway when an unauthenticated attacker connects to a target system using RDP that sends specially crafted requests, aka Windows Remote Desktop Gateway or RD Gateway remote code execution vulnerability. So I did a little digging, and that second link in the show notes is actually someone explaining, not showing hypothetical code, or showing hypothetical
Boo.
code.
They need to do full POC.
On how this works. So in the case of this, they have... I'll throw it up on the screen here. And I need to allow sharing my screen again. Firefox and Jitsi do not get along. So
Yeah, I switched to Chrome for my for Jitsi.
Yeah, I got off Chrome for all my stuff now. So I think we've covered a little bit on buffer overflows, a little bit. But this is just a sample of what it could look like. And it all hinges around just UDP packets being thrown at this. And if you throw a UDP packet at it and that fragment then gets written in, and then the buffer size, you can overwrite the buffer, and then or whatever address space that is, and then just have that fragment go there, and you go through the gateway. Now with the gateway, from what I can tell, you need to look for this port 3391 open to the internet, and then that gateway will then go to whatever device that you're trying to RDP to. Or it'll just put you in all of them. I have no idea what happens after that. But it's a UDP port, so if you're seeing a bunch of UDP traffic that is failing and probably crashing the box, turn it off for a while. So that link goes into a little bit more detail than I just did. Go ahead and take a look at that. That was as much of a deep dive as I could find for like a vulnerability of the week style vulnerability. So there you go. Back to you, Israel.
Bum bum bum. Okay, next up, we don't fully go through this on the show. We have the links here. Save it to your desktop, save it to your browser, whatever. But it's the CISA weekly bulletin. So it runs down, as we say almost every week, the criticality of a lot of these vulnerabilities with a lot of the different software packages that are being used enterprise side, as well as some that are being used within the home, like Livezilla. I haven't heard of Livezilla in years, but apparently it still exists, and there's a remote codex for it. So, but it's going to cover your Microsoft stuff. It is slightly behind. The one right now is for the week of January 13th. So they're not fully up to the day releasing information. It does lag a little bit, but it keeps you fairly consistent on knowing what is vulnerable and hopefully vulnerable within your environment.
Which is where I found the RDP gateway.
For some reason, my Chrome screwed up and my audio dropped.
Oh, now we see you in.
Oh my God!
In your blueberry goodness.
You are so comfortable right now.
I'm pretty laid back.
Are you seeing the Blue Man group right now?
Yes, I have blue LED lighting. I can change the colors with my phone.
Have those been hacked yet?
Honestly, do not know. I've tried to play with them a little bit, but I haven't done a whole lot of work on them.
Oh, okay. Nice.
There's a Bitbucket vulnerability in there that I might have to check out.
There's a bit in your bucket.
Yeah. It's Atlassian's version of GitHub or GitLab.
Yes.
For those that don't know. There's also an Apache reflected cross-site scripting thing, which I probably should look at because I'm probably going to run into a lot of these patch versions.
Always fun.
Yeah.
Okay, since we only have a couple things and other stuff, I do want to go ahead and discuss these real quick. So, Bezos.
Yeah.
Anybody heard about this?
No. Here is the technical report suggesting Saudi Arabia's prince hacked Jeff Bezos' phone.
Or at least was, one of the main individuals behind Bezos' phone getting hacked. So apparently, the Arabian prince, I guess that works, right?
Prince.
Yeah, Arabian.
Yeah, Saudi Arabian's prince. So, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah. So he sent a WhatsApp video to Bezos, and this was back in 2018. Bezos played the video, and this is all found months and just now starting to get reports about it. This was all found months later. So after that video played, the amount of upstream data, or the amount of data leaving his phone, increased by, I think it was like 1,400%, or somewhere in that range. I mean, just skyrocketed, and then it didn't go up and then drop back down. And then, it dropped down some, but it went up to a new tier and just kind of consistently stayed there. So they're fairly certain that data was being exfiltrated from his phone. Within hours of the WhatsApp video, egress jumped to 126 meg. And then the phone maintained an unusually high average of 101 megabyte of egress data per day for months thereafter. So yeah, it's hard to say how much data total, at least yet, was removed, what the data was, but it would be very interesting to see. And two, I think this was before the divorce. So yeah. And there's a couple groups that they're trying to say, hey, you developed this malware. What is it? NSO, NCO, that one big group that sells to nation states that I can't remember. NSO group. But they're fighting, saying they weren't involved in any way. They didn't develop the malware, blah, blah, blah.
They were oddly defensive. Like, then they claim that our malware it cannot possibly touch any US IPs. And then they have a loss, like they're suing over the claim.
Wait,
it's just
what?
Thou doth protest too much. Or more likely, they are probably just really want to get US contracts, and they were just terrified of any bad press.
So
No, they just didn't want to get black bagged in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So over a span of
they're the ones that help the black baggers.
Over a span of about a year, it went from a 29% increase to a, let me read this whole thing real quick, at most 132,045% increase in egress data from his device. And then the next 4 days, it went down to 56,800,650%. Coupling in 4.6 gigs, or the largest amount in a day was 2 gigs, 4.6 gigs, and 2.4 gigs, totaling about 9 gigs.
Nice.
And then a couple other like megabyte, or a couple, I think almost another gigabyte right there as well, or a couple more gigabytes, but so like 11 gigs total. Ooh, boy.
But too, you think about that off a phone, if they weren't downloading like games and crap like that, like if that's actual data from a phone, that's a lot of data.
Yeah. They're going to jailbreak his iPhone, or it says they jailbroke it or at least part of the initial disposition and ongoing investigation. FTI will gain access to and conduct a forensic examination of the root file system of Bezos's iPhone X by jailbreaking it prior to analysis. Advanced weapons grade mobile malware, hard, typically installs itself onto the root file system of the device.
Advanced weapons grade. I love these little like catchphrases. Advanced weapons grade malware.
Yeah, but this is coming from FTI. Cool. That's interesting for sure.
Yeah, like it wasn't in that story, but I read somewhere that there were like kind of like pictures and things like that included in that data, like pictures you wouldn't necessarily want out in the open, type of thing.
Vinyl Nazi Eskimo porn. But
yes, yeah, that specifically. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we covered this a while back, but this issue was then fixed because there was a vulnerability that I think we brought it up either briefly or as vulnerability of the week, where it was a specifically crafted message or file upload could go into. It was like a video or a message or a multimedia message through WhatsApp could gain root access to a system or to a iPhone or a Android device through WhatsApp. I remember covering something like that.
Yeah, and there was a WhatsApp one, and then wasn't there a specially crafted text message that could be done on iPhones that would like brick them or do something?
Yes, but that was through iMessage.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen those pop up.
Yeah,
and two, this would have been the right time frame, especially on the WhatsApp one. 2018 era. Okay, last up for the show notes. Exclusive Seattle area voters to vote by smartphone in first for U.S. election.
Oh, what could go
Now,
wrong here?
doesn't this just sound like the best idea
Oh
ever?
no!
Oh, you're not. I haven't even got to the best part yet. I mean, the way that they're authenticating these users, like pure genius. Like, do you guys know how they're going to authenticate? Well, I guess not users, but authenticate the voters, and they are who they say they are. Name and birthday. Oh, I mean, nobody. There's no way anybody knows my birthday.
I'm just thinking of like making. Okay, you could probably mess with this with repeater, like burps repeater in Community Edition. You could mess with like, you probably could mess with it. Oh my god.
But yeah, King County voters will be able to use their name and birth date to log into a web portal through the internet browser on their phones. Whoa. We are. I mean, like, okay. So are you guys like restricting IP addresses to only be within King County? I mean, that does not
No,
make it any better,
what
but
about,
at least
what about
that would
me?
be something. Like,
The question is, like, how much is, like, what's it going to be like when all the different people who are hired to overtake the election fight against each other? Like, how many duplicate votes? Like, how many times a dead person have to vote before, you know, it looks a little bit suspicious? Like 10, 20?
Yeah, 5,000.
oh, they're not dead. They just, wake up long enough to vote, and then they go back.
We don't want.
Yeah, but what kind of verification are you gonna have? Like, what? There's no verification. Oh my god. Yeah.
No, it's just going to be some random person in Brazil who is going to get paid, or maybe some random kid for shits and giggles just wants to decide who's going to win office in Kings County.
Hey guys, we don't want to disenfranchise the dead vote. They have a hard time. They have a hard time getting to the DMV.
We're accepting of all forms of life and
unlife
and undead, of the dead and undead.
Yeah, just make sure whenever you die, take your driver's license with you. Just in case they do modify their security in the future, you'll still be able to vote, during the next election.
Grandma's great grandma's gotta get her voting a million times.
Man, it's really gonna suck whenever that license comes up for renewal. I hope their staff to be able to handle that.
Just don't discriminate against people on a different plane of existence.
That was good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. One of my buddies posted this, and my jaw just dropped. Like, there is not one security person involved with this crap.
So there's only one
all.
thing.
I mean,
is it stored in a blockchain?
God, no! Stop talking.
Well, it's actually stored in the blockchain and powered by AI.
Well, you all laugh, but
that is using music for the
there
encryption.
Is a mobile voting app. There is a mobile voting app called Votes that has votes stored in a blockchain. It's an actual thing.
Oh, that's just swell. Well, I mean,
it's as a concept.
Well, that is actually very interesting. Since you okay, so what are your guys' thoughts? Whenever you vote, do you think your vote should be public record?
No.
Or is that more of
a bad idea because that might get you lynched depending on where you live?
Lynched, or it could also encourage, people paying other people to vote a certain way. It'll help make voting subject to peer pressure rather than, people voting for who they want to vote for.
So, I mean, paying people to vote a certain way, that doesn't happen.
But actually verifiably doing that.
Because technically anything on the blockchain is public record, right?
By definition.
Yeah. because you can look any of that up, and that's why blockchain is so efficient. Is for certain things, is because you have that timestamp, that artifact there. That's not going to change.
I don't think
So you
efficiency is
have
what you're looking for.
Not in this case, but for certain use cases, it's pretty good.
I mean, yes, it has a use case, but I don't think efficient is ever a word to describe blockchain anything.
Yeah.
Or government.
Or government. Wait, blockchain is separate from government? Whoa, what? But yeah, I just have so many issues with everything about this story. And I mean, and then they're going to glimpse of the future. I sure in the hell hope not, because this is absurd. So, and I have a child whining in the background.
They also don't like this idea.
Yeah, they don't like this idea either. I'm raising them right.
I feel that this mobile voting app, like all mobile voting app, any internet-based voting app, needs to be on the voting machine hacking village at DEF CON.
Yeah, and this is not even an app. It is a website.
That's why I clarified online rather than just app.
Yeah, because they actually said from your smartphone, you open your browser and go to the address. What? Okay, not an app then.
To be fair, a lot of
it's an
that's
actual
just load a website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least all resources and everything are handled that way. So even if it is an application, you could go into Burp and go into promiscuous mode and set it up so that all traffic routes through your box that is running Burp, and you would be able to repeat any of those requests and manipulate those requests in any way.
That's right.
That's how you do a little bit of mobile testing.
But yeah, just the whole your name and birthday.
Mm-hmm. That's
absurd.
It.
So I can basically start voting as a politician. I can look them up on Wikipedia and start voting as them.
Can I just start voting myself? Or vote for Abraham Lincoln?
Ooh, that would be awesome if good old Abe voted. I wonder who he'd vote for.
No. Like, I vote for Abraham Lincoln.
Well, yeah.
Just like a million times and Abraham Lincoln wins. It's like, all right, so here's the issue with your secure platform for voting. Here's my white paper. Run.
Yeah, because they didn't actually mention if they had any type of group come in and like test that site out. I'm just curious about like SQL injections and cross-site scripting and all that fun stuff against it.
Not even just that, just like how do you...
Well, last week, because we talked about that government where you could have gone in and modified at least the law that was presented. So like in your case with Abe, go in if you're able to do that SQL injection or whatever database they're running, inject, Caprico in, and then have a, million votes for Caprico whenever there's only, 40,000 people in the county or whatever.
Well, you can vote for whoever you want. Mickey Mouse gets some number of votes that are tallied up every year. It's like you can vote for whoever. It doesn't have to be a candidate that is running. There is an other field.
Agreed.
So you could just throw that in there. Granted, now you said that there's an other field, which means there's an insert statement there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and let's put Mickey Mouse.
Or you dump the database today,
not us. Or dump the database. Or put Mickey Mouse on no longer as a write-in, but as an official candidate.
As an official candidate. Walt Disney.
No, you dump the database the day before, and then right as the polls open, that's where you just,
Oof. I don't like where this conversation is going, and I have to go into another really crappy election this year.
Crappy election. Yeah, but you're not going to be doing it from your smartphone on your phone's browser, though. You are
No.
so technology inept.
Nope, I'm gonna do it from my computer. Um, and make everything go kaput. How do I even end this?
What are you ending?
How do we end this topic?
Okay, we're done with that topic.
All right. I got a curiosity. What y'all think of the I was calling it Boogaloo, but that gun rights protest that happened in Virginia on Monday?
I haven't seen a whole lot. All I've seen is stuff you've posted because you're the only one of my friend group that is posting that stuff. And the rest of it was a bunch of my friends from college posting stuff from when they were at the Women's March in Minneapolis. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, and I've seen a lot of posts about it, and we knew, somebody that quite a few of us know was there, who's a minority female, and she said everything went well. There were even sheriffs there, kind of protesting what the governor's attempting to do.
The media tried to portray it one way, and the media just had an entirely wrong spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean the media was trying to instigate and trying to get them and rile them up to the point where they would do something. But end of the day, I think one person was arrested for wearing a face mask.
My saying one woman was arrested for wearing a face mask. Not exactly sure why, but it was cold as fuck outside.
Yeah, and from what we heard, it was like 28, 30 degrees somewhere in there, so it was definitely chilly. And a lot of people were wearing face masks, so that probably wasn't the only reason. She probably did something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw a video of some people trying to stir stuff up. Not really the gun rights guys, but
yeah, I saw a very pathetic amount of counter protesters who showed up.
I've seen some very cringeworthy photos of that protest. Very, very cringeworthy.
Like 50 was probably not the best optics in the world.
Yeah, the dude with the 50 cal was that was oh my gosh.
Wasn't it you that posted that, Adrian, where mommy dressed me today or something?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that was me, but yeah, something like that.
I didn't see that picture.
The dude with the Barrett Light 50 is a white dude, and two black guys with AR-15s hanging out, arms around each other, just hanging out. Cool.
Yeah.
So much LARPing. Also, people dressed in camo with a patch that said /K on them, which means they were from the gun board on from 4chan. And typical stereotypical fashion. Stereotypical fashion. They were not very in shape.
Yeah. I gotta admit, a lot of gun nuts, even ones that have former military experience. I mean, once you get out of the military, some people let themselves go. But yeah, they're all fair enough.
But it was more so just the whole. This is very clearly someone who frequents 4chan kind of look.
Here's that dude.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think that's
I saw pictures of. Oh yeah, I saw I think a trans rights flag, except it had it was a combination trans flag and a Gadsden flag.
Yeah.
Actually, I think technically the trans flag. The trans flag has a certain, I don't know, is it blue, pink, and white on it? That was just the straight, no, not straight, the straight up LGBT flag with the rainbow.
Yeah, I also saw the LGBT flag of Gadsden, the Gadsden combo. Saw, of course, a Confederate flag. Saw a lot of people trying this, minorities for guns.
Yeah.
It was just so ham-fisted.
Yep. All peace. Oh, the best part was on Tuesday. There was a meme that started going around saying, whatever the governor's name is, it's okay, you can come out now. That was good.
There was many a good meme that came out of it, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else for the show?
Trying to find more flags.
Cappy loves flags. And his diploma in the background.
Yeah, which I found out has something called cum laude on it, I guess.
Or as Jason Daniels said, you don't have to be in shape to pull a trigger.
That's right.
But you know what? If I'm going to be carrying around a Barrett Light 50, or I think that's what the gun the guy had was.
Yeah.
There's a couple different models are similar to that. One's heavier than the Barrett Light 50. But if you're going to be carrying around that all day, you better get in shape, I'd think.
Yeah, that thing weighs a decent amount.
Like
Plus,
15 pounds?
yeah, it's probably in that range. Plus that recoil, man.
Last time, I've heard mixed things on the recoil on the Barrett Light 50. You're not supposed to fire it from your shoulder. You know, you're supposed to be prone or something.
Yeah, the light isn't as bad. But I haven't shot one obviously standing up. I've always been down. But man, that thing, it packs a punch.
There's a YouTuber or something. He had two little people that wanted to shoot it. So
Wait. Are we talking like kids or midgets?
adults.
Oh,
like
okay.
Smaller adults.
I was just checking.
I'm trying to be PC about it.
Vertically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they fired it, and they both just went flying backwards. It was so funny. They were having a blast, but the one guy that took the brunt of the rifle coming back, he was just like, ah, like on the ground. The gun hit him and bounced off his shoulder and went off the table.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm like, that thing starts going off. It's like, boom. It's like, you're going to have to run a couple 20 yards to go find that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I'm seeing are typical news photographers. Whatever.
Nice. Well, I think that's about it for this week.
All right. Well, in that case, see everybody next Wednesday. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.